Anyone who thinks Bluey is a simple cartoon is totally mistaken. The series is packed with some really bizarre theories. Are you ready to see the evidence of hidden secrets in the story of the Healer family and their friends? The Plan. Have you watched the episode Double Babysitter when Frisky met Bluey's uncle and fell in love with him? But there is a very strong theory that says that meeting was not an accident at all. If you go back to the story of that episode, you'll remember that Uncle Radley, Bandit's brother, works on an oil platform, and he himself says that because of that, he doesn't have much time to visit his nieces. At the beginning of the episode, Chili apologizes to Frisky and says she forgot to tell her that Bandit's brother was in town and that he would be the babysitter that night, and that sounds like a huge lie. If Radley is that busy, then of course Chili knew when he would be free to watch the girls. On top of that, Frisky had just broken up with Bosco. The theory says that Chili and Bandit decided to set up that meeting between the two of them on purpose because they knew the couple would fall in love. It makes a lot of sense, and apparently it worked out really well. But what do you think about this theory? Is it actually true? Let's find out more theories right now. And for you who made it this far, we have a special invitation. Click the join button down below and become part of our exclusive group of subscribers. We have 3 plans for you to choose from. You can become a Wave Fund member and use our badges on your profile and special emojis in the channel's video comments. Or you can become a Wave Plus member and get early access to our videos and priority replies in the comments. But if you want access to our exclusive members-only videos and polls, you can become a Wave Max member. Starting at $2.99, you can become the newest member of Cinewave. Click now and get even closer to us. Fourth baby. Are Chili and Bandit really going to stop having children? Probably not, and we're going to explain why. In the episode Bedroom from Season 3, we find out that Chili is sad because the crib where the daughters slept when they were newborns is going to be donated to someone. In the official episode order, the story right before that moment was perfect, when Bandit was talking with Winnie's dad about whether or not to have more kids. And when the crib was donated, everyone thought that meant there would be no more Healer puppies. But Chili was sad, and that is proof that she wasn't ready to give up on the idea. The theory says there would be a 4th Healer baby. We say 4th because Mrs. Healer lost her first puppy, and that is more proof of what we're saying. Chili, just like her sister, dreams of being a mom, and probably what she wants most is to have one more puppy. That's why everyone thinks Mrs. Healer will convince her husband to have another child. Do you believe this theory? Memory. In the episode Fairy Tale, we see a memory from Bandit where Grandpa Bob appears as a father who can't even remember his son's name. He didn't help much with taking care of the kids. Now, on the day of Frisky's wedding to Radley, we find out that he went to India because he needed to rediscover himself. If you connect those 2 pieces of information, you'll realize that Grandpa Bob may have some kind of memory problem. Sure, it could be age, but he was already forgetting his kids' names when he was younger, and because of that, many people think Bob has memory issues. Maybe he went to India because he needed to remember something. Or maybe he even went there for an important medical treatment that will help Grandpa not forget things anymore. Does that make sense? What do you think? The uncle. Now we're going to talk about an important detail about Chili's sister's situation. Mrs. Healer said that her sister's biggest dream was to have children, but that she couldn't. For a long time, fans believed it was because she couldn't get pregnant. But what if she isn't the one with the problem? Many fans believe that Aunt Brandy's husband is a dog who cannot have children, and because she is married to him, Bluey's aunt couldn't get pregnant. This theory makes sense because on the day of Frisky's wedding, we find out that Brandy is finally going to fulfill her biggest dream. This raises many questions, but the biggest one is about Bluey and Bingo's mysterious uncle. Did something change so that now he can have children? Some people even think Chili's sister separated and later married another character. But whatever the truth is, we'll find everything out when Season 4 premieres with the new episodes. Do you think Bluey will like her new cousin? Comment the hashtag Bluey so we can get to know each other. Puppet. What if Bluey is actually a television program? Yes, we know that even asking this sounds pretty funny, but there is a reason for this theory. In the Season 3 episode Puppets, Bluey is talking with the character Unicorse, that annoying unicorn Bandit invented to bother Chili and play with his daughters. In this story, the doll discovers that he is just a puppet, and at the end of the story, he asks Bluey if she is sure she herself is a real puppy, or if she is also a character being controlled by someone. We in the real world know she is just a cartoon, cartoon. But in the episode, we see a real human hand drawing our little dog. That means the creators of Bluey confirmed inside the cartoon itself that Bluey is only a character. Do you understand what that means? From that episode on, it's proven that Bluey and all the other characters are not real like they think they are. Sure, it's weird, but it's a theory that makes sense. Magic. At the end of the episode Fairies, we discover that Bingo can see magical creatures. She notices that a fairy helped her build the image of a heart. And this is a big shift in the Bluey universe because it is confirmation that magic exists. And that is a very strange thing. Up until that moment, everyone knew the healers were pretending that magic was real. But after everyone saw that fairy, fans are divided between those who believe in magic and those who think Bingo was seeing illusions. What do you think about this subject? Bone. Did Bandit lose his job and because of that want to move away? In the mini studio archaeology, Honey's dad introduces Bandit as Dr. Healer, an archaeologist who has just returned from a trip with a major discovery. At that moment, Bandit shows a bone that, according to him, is proof of the ancestors of dogs that walk on two legs. That's an important discovery, but at the end of the presentation, Mr. Healer bites the bone in front of everyone. According to the theory, that bone belonged to someone, which makes what he did pretty gross. Not to mention that his teeth must have damaged the discovery. All of this could have been a reason for Bandit to lose his job and be forced to look for another one. Then, after some time, he may have received an offer to move. See how that makes sense? It's a very interesting theory, but what do you think? Cornelius. Are you ready for a shocking reveal? Winton's dad is probably a famous actor. That must be why so many girls like him. Cornelius is a bulldog that many people can spot walking around the puppy city, but he almost never truly takes part in the stories. However, there's a detail some fans noticed. In the episode Movies, when Bandit goes in with his daughters to buy the tickets, we can see a movie poster where the dog on the cover looks a lot like Cornelius. The theory is that he is a famous Australian movie actor, and that can explain why he's a character who does so well with the girls. Because who wouldn't want to meet a movie star? That would be really fun. Want to keep having fun with us? Then subscribe and turn on the notification bell. The Old Pug. Do you remember the episode Granny Mobile, when Muffin helped Bluey's neighbor sell a mobility scooter? In that story, we meet a super rude old pug who bought it for $2,000. Muffin really knows how to sell things, but the sad part of this story is that, most likely, that old pug, as mean as she was probably very sick. Maybe she isn't even alive anymore. And yes, we can say that for a few reasons. The main one is that the scooter belonged to the neighbor's late husband. This type of vehicle is used by people who can no longer walk. And there's more. The old pug agreed to pay $2,000 for a scooter that was worth $900 and was first being sold for $300. She agreed to pay more because she really needed that electric scooter, and that is a clue that she truly was sick. Do you think she's okay? Soldier. Another somewhat sad theory talks about Rusty's dad. In the episode Cricket, we see him sending a letter to his son because he is away from home working as a soldier somewhere. That makes us think that, in reality, Rusty's dad must be somewhere fighting in a war. And yes, that's very sad, but it could be true. Soldiers can spend a long time away from home on missions, but you've probably noticed that Rusty's dad stays away for a very long time. This could be a clue that somewhere, something terrible is happening that needs the help of brave soldiers like Rusty's dad. If this theory is true, we'll be rooting for him to be safe. Toys. Answer one question. Do you know if the toy store clerk is okay? Do you remember the episode Mr. Monkey Jocks? The one where Bandit makes his daughters donate some toys to children who need them? The end of that story shows a very interesting detail. We find out that Bluey's stuffed monkey has a new owner, and that owner is the toy store clerk's puppy son. We see this clerk in the episode Quiet Game, when the healer girls are buying a birthday present for their cousin Muffin, but all of this information creates a very bizarre theory. The clerk works at the toy store, right? But she went to the donation center to get a used toy for her son. And why would she do that if she works in a place with new toys? The theory says two things could have happened. The first is that sadly, the clerk lost her job. That's why she can no longer buy new toys for her puppy. The second is that, as you can see in the final scene, her puppy is in the hospital, and she must have spent all the money she had on her son's health. That's why she could only get a toy from the donation center. Does this theory make sense? Therapy. Have you noticed that the healers are great parents? They manage to raise their daughters in the best possible way, and that detail is something fantastic. Do you know what all of this this means? It's proof that they go to family therapy with psychologists. You doubt it? Let's remember that the healer couple lost a child. This is a fact confirmed even by the show's creator, Joe Brum. But even with that pain, they managed to raise 2 daughters with lots of love. On top of that, Bandit's play methods, which encourage his daughters, are proof that he learned this somewhere, since in the episode Fairy Tale, we see that his parents were not very good at that. Apparently, the healer couple has professional help to be good parents. That's why the 2 of them are the best parents in the world. Do you agree? We're going to see much more about this amazing family in the next season, but until then, the next step is right in front of you. 2 fun-filled videos waiting for your click. Thanks, and see you soon.